Before we get into today's episode, here's a look at a show we think you might like.
Hey, don't hit that skip button. Yeah, this is the ad section, and you want to get back to the awesome podcast you were just listening to. But here's the deal. This awesome podcast has given me a quick time slot to pitch you my awesome podcast, Black Flare. We are a tabletop RPG actual play podcast using the Delta Green gaming system. It's like we're playing Dungeons & Dragons, but in place of fantasy, it's more akin to the X-Files or True Detective. Our players take the role of a secret team tasked with investigating and combating otherworldly horrors. If you like audio dramas, tabletop gaming, suspense, and a bit of horror, I think you should give Black Flare a listen. All right, thanks for sticking through my pitch. Happy listening.
Shadows in the Smoke is intended for mature audiences and may contain material that some people find disturbing. Please see the episode description for content warnings and listen with care. Mr. John and Mr. Lloyd, the two of you walking not quite side by side. Mr. Lloyd lingering behind you, Mr. John, as you are making your way into Limehouse and into Jenny Johnston's opium den. As you enter, this room is dim and smoky. There is a heavy ammonia-like smell all around you, and there are people lounging on cushions, partaking in opium. I have a paint the scene for you all as Mr. John and Mr. Lloyd enter this space. People from all walks of life patronize Jenny Johnston's. What do you see that indicates this?
Sitting off in one corner, we see a very haggard young lady, probably in her late teens, early 20s. She's a nanny, and she comes here sometimes if the children are particularly difficult that day.
Even though the den itself is a relatively open space, there's a lot of hanging curtains and low furniture to sort of block line of sights, some folding screens, so that if you wanted to disappear in here and not be noticed, there are plenty of small dark corners in which you could do so.
There's one lounge with a pair of hipsters on it. One is clearly a vagrant, a beggar from the streets of London, and one is the Duchess of Kent, and they are passing a pipe back and forth between one another.
The signs here are depicted in more than just English. They're also in Chinese, in Spanish, in multiple languages.
As the two of you enter this space, I believe two people catch your notice. One is Ms. Jenny Johnston herself. She is pacing a little nervously by a set of stairs that lead down into her basement. She is in her late 30s. She has a very soothing disposition about her, quite pretty. She's wearing a dark taffeta gown. The other individual in this space that catches your notice is a person that you recognize, Mr. John. There is indeed a man wearing a gold sun mask, lounging on one of the cushions in the opium den, raising a pipe to his lips.
John came here with the intention of investigating the murders, but having the addition of Rabbit, it can eat his cake and have it too. Knee howdy, Jenny. I brought my occultist expert right from Hargrave House.
Yes, excellent. The people to fix the leak in my basement.
Hargrave Plumbing. Would you mind showing him? He doesn't look like he can hold a pipe above his head for more than 30 seconds, but I assure you, he knows his way around a wrench.
She looks at you, Mr. Lloyd. Yes, you are an expert in this matter?
Well, I'm an expert in many things. Definitely have had my hands on a few pipes.
And Lord knows he knows his way around underground.
Very well then. Follow me, sir. And she starts walking down the stairs.
And John turns to the man in the sun mask. Morning, sunshine. Hoping to find your visage around these parts.
Mr. Lloyd, Jenny leads you down the wooden stairs into the basement of this opium den. Laid out here are 3 bodies covered in clean white sheets. I haven't touched them, sir, except to place them here for you.
Morgan starts walking, weaving his way around the bodies, not touching them, but holding his hands out as though he is conducting music or playing some sort of instrument. His fingers twiddle just a little bit, feeling energy over them. And from a corner in this opium den basement, a very large black cat appears and hops up onto the table. Oh, don't worry about him. He's with me. He's already seen to these 3, though. And Rabbit pulls the sheet away.
You pull back the sheet of soft Jimmy.
Morgan is not looking at the body. It rather is like he's looking through the body. His eyes are not focused on it, even though he's looking in its general direction. And it really seems as though he's trying to just feel the air around it and feel some sort of energy. He slowly makes his way up and down the body until he gets to where the ankles are and starts really just inspecting the ankles.
May I ask what it is you're looking for, sir?
Where he left his body. Down here, look. And Morgan points to the puncture scars on his ankles and calves. That's where the blood all left. Morgan removes the sheet from the second body, starting this time with the ankles.
That would be Charla Bell, who volunteers at the Limehouse School, which is a workhouse in the Limehouse district.
Another one. All of her just spilled out through these tiny little holes. What a shame. And he removes the blanket from the third.
Xiao Donghai, a very handsome, young Chinese sailor.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid you've got a bit of a problem here.
Yes, I do. I have 3 bodies in my basement and no vampire found.
It's going to be a lot worse than that. This is not normal for vampires, at least my understanding. Normally you see the throats, the wrists, the inner thigh. Ankles are an odd spot. And Morgan pulls out a knife, and where the bite mark is on the third body, he cuts open, as though he were a surgeon making his first incision. Not a single drop of blood left in him, either. Not a lot I can do here, I'm afraid. Their souls are long gone, their spirits past. Ket, can you get me a sacrifice? I don't think I can do this without any blood. And Ket jumps off the table and comes back in just a moment with just an absolutely giant spider, something that you would not normally find in London, something tropical looking almost. And he drops it on the table, still wriggling. Rabbit then immediately, before it can skitter off, puts his dagger right through it. Let's see what answers we can find.
Sounds like you're trying to do a rite of salted smoke here.
Yes, I am.
So go ahead and roll 2d6 plus sensitivity. Now, you used Ket to give you a sacrifice, but I don't think you're specifically trying to draw something to you, are you?
No, I don't think I am.
Then that is just going to be 2d6 plus sensitivity.
That would be a 14.
So on a hit, you get to choose a effect from Rites of Salt and Smoke. What are you going for here?
I am going to observe another place or time. And specifically, I am going to fill the basement that we are in with visions of the time and place of one of these people's deaths.
Upstairs in the opium den, the man in the sun mask motions for you to sit on one of the cushions next to him.
How's things in Buckingham Palace these days?
Oh, very well, sir. You should come see my apartment there.
Send somebody around for me. I'm looking for a place to sleep tonight.
Is that so?
My quarters have been compromised. Trying to stay on the run.
Tell me, what hunts the hunter?
Fuck if I know, brother. Women. Like most species, the woman's the more dangerous when it comes to folk like me.
He passes the pipe to you.
Mr. John isn't one for altering his consciousness. He looks it over, thinks about it. If it's all the same to you, brother, I'll stick with good old-fashioned American tobacco.
Of course.
Have something else, though, you might be interested in.
Oh, a gift?
Something to wet your whistle. I take out the bottle of ambrosia.
It has been some time since I have seen a gift so fine.
Well, this gift comes with some mighty thick strings attached to it, so I figured I might as well butter you up gold and yellow. hoping for a favor.
What is it I can do for you, John?
I know you're a person who enjoys the evening entertainments.
I do consider myself a patron of the arts.
Question I've got concerns the Sister Act.
Oh,
There was a time, stop me if you already know all this. You seem to know an awful lot about where I've been and what I've done.
yes, but I like to hear you tell it.
Well, I was heartbroken. I was changing in ways I didn't care for. And I was feeling mighty hard on myself. Started going on the run. Instead of going up and down, I started going left and right. Never made as far as California, but I did see the good old Atlantic again. I went north, though, trying to avoid... I don't know why I'm being cagey around you. Trying to avoid my family. Sure you can relate,
Family is complicated.
to say the least. Anyway, I was around Amherst when I saw a gal out for a morning ride. She was horseback, And she was heading toward me, the sun to my back, so I knew couldn't see, but I could, a copperhead snake right there in the trail. And there were two dangers, because that horse saw that snake, and it reared up something fierce. And given what I'd been through, I knew I had a couple of options. I could kill the snake quick as blinking, but the horse was already spooked. This girl did not have what I would call an iron grip on its saddle. So I shot that horse, and it toppled over right on top of that girl, broke a few of her ribs, her wrist. In my haste to scoop her up off the ground, got bit by that snake, but not positive it broke skin. Anyway, I was woozy by the time we got her back to her place, and I spent that winter nursing her back to health. I don't know if I thought of her as a daughter or as a what, but I was trying something funny. I was calling myself a fake name, trying to run away from my past. I was going by Benjamin Franklin. Thought myself awful cute. Benjamin Franklin Newton. I taught this girl everything there was to know about poetry and verse, and guess I set myself up as something of her tutor. I don't know if I loved this girl or if I was in love with this girl, but I do know that a few years later, we went and saw Jenny Lind singing around, the lady I told you about when I met P.T. Barnum.
Yes, the singer.
This girl looked at her in a way I'd looked at women before and have looked at women since. And I realized no matter how I felt about her, that didn't matter because she weren't going to feel the same way about me. Ended up sending her a telegram to call things off later, which I don't think she took too kindly for, but I just hope she's out there writing poetry still. What I'm getting at, do I have a shot with your sister or no? I used to think didn't have none at all, but lately I got myself even worse. I really let her down. She's something furious at me, but I know a woman don't get that angry. There ain't something more than anger behind it.
Mr. John rolled tall tales?
I'd like to use the ambrosia to get advantage, if I may.
Yes, you may, of course.
6 and 5 is 11, plus 2 is 13.
All right, so on a hit, they fall for your charm and do as you wish, or reveal a clue, your choice.
It doesn't help us in the investigation, but I'd really love him to put in a good word for me with Athena.
Fantastic. And on a 12 plus, you also get a keepsake to remember this person by.
Cass, what will the man in the sun mask give me to remember him by?
The man in the sun mask reaches into a pocket of his smoking jacket and pulls out a brass medallion and hands it over to you. And this is called a ttrpg, and it is used to scare horses. Like if you think about chariot races or horse races, this might have a good use case.
I can also think of another reason why Miss Thanero might enjoy that.
Maybe so.
Speaking of Miss Thanero, despite what you may have anticipated coming in here, I do think you actually spend a rather serene, if not pleasant, hour in this salon with Mistress Beaumont. She is very complimentary, very attentive. You are looking about this space, making polite conversation, and much to your chagrin, you do not see anything that belongs to Sir Richard Harlow. It seems as though Mistress Beaumont is wise enough to keep tokens from her paramours, especially her deceased paramours, out of her workspace. But something does catch your notice, especially as she is adjusting to fix your hem. Her sewing needles, her scissors. Now that you think about it, even the door handle as you were entering this shop, objects that would ordinarily be made of iron or metal are all made of bone. That is a clue for the spider silk seamstress. Well, darling, I do say I think this might be my finest work.
Having seen so much of your creativity on display about London, I would have to agree.
She is loosening the garment so that she may package it up for you. It is a pity to seal it away in a box. It looked so wonderful on you.
Well, I shall have to find some place extraordinarily special to wear it.
Mayhaps, Miss Thanero, mayhaps. I say I would be quite enchanted to see you again.
My feeling is mutual.
Miss Thanero, take the condition infatuated with Mistress Beaumont. In fact, Miss Thanero, I think I might know just the place where you might wear my finery.
Oh, do tell. I would love for all of London to see it.
There's a fete happening, a midsummer masquerade.
The pleasure would be all mine, believe me.
I pray you, invite Mr. Lloyd as well. From her pockets, she produces a small white rabbit's foot. And when you do, give this back to him. He has already given me so many gifts.
Enid looks at it for a moment, realizing what this might mean, and then proceeds to go over to her clothing and starts redressing after the fitting is finishing up. Of course, it's safe with me. Now, are you sure that I can't give you any type of payment?
I'd ask for a kiss.
Ina walks over to her and starts to pull some of these veils back over her face. And she reaches up and covers Mistress Beaumont's eyes and kisses her very gently on the cheek.
That is a very worthy payment, Miss Thanero.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I shall look forward to our next meeting. I'm already filled with inspiration on a new garment.
And I can't wait to see it.
She packages up your dress, wraps it in fine silver ribbon. As you exit, you hear a young woman's voice. Did I just hear someone come out of Mistress Beaumont's shop? You see a young woman with wild curly hair and a very haunted expression. She is wearing a simple dress. She is crouched on the streets of Savile Row near Mistress Beaumont's shop.
Ina turns and takes this girl in, walks over to her, and crouches down next to her.
Now that you are close to this girl, you see that she is blind.
As Ina is crouched next to this girl, noting that she's blind, she gently reaches down and turns the girl's arm over so her wrist is facing upward.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a very small tattoo of a shield, but not of Aegis specifically. And when Ina touches it, it starts to glow gold.
This sounds like you are using one of your playbook moves, Miss Thanero.
It is. I love that I just happened to walk out of this shop and find myself in the company of a young blind woman. So I am going to be using Giveth because I have yet to use it, and this feels like a good person to use it on.
I love that. The move reads as follows. At any time, you can declare that a side character is secretly one of your worshippers. Describe how the side character, subtly or not so subtly, debases themselves before you in the scene. You would know this woman, or perhaps know of this woman, to be Jenny Snell, a young seamstress. How is she debasing herself to you to make obvious her worship?
Jenny, having recognized Ina's voice, knowing that this is her mistress, she twitches her head from left to right in a way that would seem like she's looking at Ina, even though she clearly cannot. She reaches into an apron that she is wearing, and she's still looking at Ina as she does so, her hands very practiced in knowing where everything is. And in her pocket, she pulls out a small vial of olive oil and she reaches towards Ina's ankle, very slowly snaking her hand over Ina's shoe up to her bare calf and begins to rub this olive oil into her skin.
Incredible. Miss Thanero, scar your reflection and describe to me how the masterwork has changed for the worse.
In the face of this painting, Ina's lips originally looked full and beautiful, but having planted a kiss upon another creature, obviously not someone mortal, but a kiss nonetheless, which is something she does not do lightly, the lips in the painting begin to crack and dry and wither, lines forming around her mouth. And it pulls the originally serene and peaceful look on her face into more of a grimace.
I knew it was you, my lady. I heard you might have an appointment here today, and I sat out here for hours waiting for you.
It's quite bold of you to attempt to anticipate my presence somewhere.
It is an honor just to be in your presence, mistress.
Well, since you went to such great lengths to gain an audience with me, I have something to ask of you in return.
Anything, mistress?
Ina pulls out the gold token from Tyrnavos upon Thames and presses it into Jenny's hand. Since you seem to enjoy this area so much, I would like you to, pardon the turn of phrase, keep an eye on Seamstress Beaumont.
She's a dangerous woman, mistress.
Yes, dear, she is. And I would like you to relay anything, absolutely anything that seems questionable about her day-to-day activities, and perhaps what she gets up to at night.
So, the rules of the move state. When you make a gift of something from your personal quarters to a worshiper, they will do exactly as you say, no questions asked, up to and including destroying themselves. Jenny pockets this token from Tyrnavos upon Thames.
You honor me by giving this to me, Mum.
You would take great care not to lose it. I shall be very displeased if you do.
Never, mistress. My most precious gift from you.
And you will bring me any information that I seek?
Aye, Mum.
I can count on you.
Yes, mistress. I'll apprentice myself, I will. Work in a shop.
Good. Don't draw too much attention to yourself. Be as discreet as you can. But anything is of value.
Yes, Mum.
Good girl.
Miss Douglas. The shape in the meat disappears back into a harmless pile of raw meat.
Maisie takes the pearl that she's been given in such better spirits than she was this morning and just sort of shouts as she leaves the larder, "Goodbye, Mark. It was wonderful to meet you. Bye. Hope to see you around."
Where are you off to, my dear?
Definitely Cremorne Gardens. She's very happy to have received this beautiful gift from her true love. I can't lie about it. She's in love with this fish person and she hasn't even met them.
As Miss Douglas is returning to the promenade, I have to paint the scene here. So we know from the articles from the Illustrated Police News that the creature and sightings of the creature have become something of a phenomenon in London. People are visiting Cremorne Gardens for the express purpose of catching a glimpse of the creature. How can we tell that the people who are visiting Cremorne Gardens are not here for the garden's entertainment?
Normally where you would see a crowded, overflowing dancing platform, now there are just a handful of couples. All of the other people who have come to the gardens are hovering around the railing that lines the Thames, looking over, pointing. You see people with binoculars, and the dancing platform is empty.
There are people wearing memorabilia, handmade masks and gill cowls, and they're holding up various signs that say things like, "Put the sea between you and me," and "I believe in you."
Where musicians are usually gathered in chain walk, they are instead collecting on the pier, playing songs similar to the lilting tunes that have been heard, called out supposedly by the creature.
Also along Chain Walk, the rows of artists that you usually see hawking their landscapes and still lives have instead been replaced by a bunch of people with pictures of various interpretations of what this possible fishman could look like.
Miss Douglas, you arrive at this bustling promenade. People are milling about with anticipation, waiting for this creature to perhaps arise from the water. As you are walking down the promenade, a woman sidles up to you. She's wearing the most fabulous fascinator on her head that's been fashioned into like a fish springing from the water. And she has a glass of wine in her hand. Are you also here to get a view of the fishman?
Who isn't? Isn't it such a lovely day? I'm just holding out hope that he will show up today.
Well, yes, I dare say, I usually come to Cremorne Gardens for the dancing platform. I consider myself the finest dance aficionado in London, but the creature is quite exciting, isn't it? Mayhaps there's a few moves to show me, if I'm so lucky.
You have read my mind. I would love to dance with him. I'm sure that he is graced by the powers of the ocean to be the most delightful dancer.
Oh, yes, and I've heard his song is so compelling that one walks right off into the ocean.
You know I have heard it.
No.
Yes.
No!
He sang just for me. It felt very special.
I dare say, what was the song about? You lucky duck.
Well, it wasn't really, there were no words. It was more of a call.
She holds out her hand.
Albertina Welk.
Maisie Douglas. She takes it. She's so excited to be with this woman.
Well, it seems as though you are just the person to know. I will stick close to you if you don't mind.
I do not. You are delightful.
The two of you pull up to the railing, and as you do, you start to hear some gasps and some screams from further down the railing as emerging from the water is this large, fish-like bipedal creature.
Oh, my word! Oh, it's him! It's the creature!
He's here! Oh my god, I'm so excited. Albertina, we should get closer. She drags Albertina as close as she can. She's pushing people out of the way.
Albertina follows your lead. She's wearing quite high heels, so it's a little difficult for her to scale the railing quite as nimbly as you do. But you are heading down the rocky, sandy shore towards the creature. Albertina takes one look at this beast of a man and, like, air quotes, faints away, but in like, you know, a stylish, beautiful, swooning way. But Miss Douglas, as you get close to this creature, you notice that this fish face is a papier-mâché mask that's been lacquered to look perpetually wet. This is an imposter.
Maisie's sprint and glee slows down as she takes this in until she is just at the edge of the water, and every bit of joy and excitement has been replaced with outright anger as she looks at this impersonator. The pearl that she was holding on to gets shoved deeply into her pocket as to not lose it. Good day, fishman. You don't say. I would love to dance with you. And she starts stalking towards the fish person so slowly, the water bubbling around her.
This sounds like Curse of the Deep to me.
I mean, he's threatening me with his lies and deception.
Just giving you a little peek behind the curtain here. This is the complication from the mixed success of Creature of Cremorne Gardens, that the Creature of Cremorne Gardens has become such a sensation that people are now dressing up as the creature and appearing all over London. So, roll a sensitivity, please.
All right.
Punish this man.
Hopefully.
This foolish man.
Take him out.
This poor unfortunate soul.
That is a 7 plus a 2 is a 9.
All right, so on a 7 to 9, choose one. You have advantage on your next roll. They are overwhelmed with fear and flee. They refuse to harm someone of your choosing, including yourself, or they gain a deep fear regarding bodies of water.
Oh, they gain a deep fear regarding bodies of water.
Let's pick back up with Mr. Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd, I'd like to hear what this ritual looks like.
He stabs his knife right through this large spider and into the table below where the bodies are being held. And smoke starts billowing out from the point where the knife impacted upon the spider, slowly filling the room, much in the way like a fog machine would fill the room by billowing out and covering the floor. And as it does so, shapes and shadows start to move up and form into more realistic things. So the smoke and shadows form into a dreamlike facsimile of the opium den upstairs, various figures are lounging about in various states of intoxication. You can't really see any detail in their faces. It is like you're observing through a dream where you can tell that they are people and you can tell that they are specific people, but you can't make out the details. And we see a small human-looking figure come upon the dead to the world but not yet dead Soft Jimmy and just start drinking from his ankles.
Indeed, yes. And because you got such a good roll, I'll go ahead and give you a clue off of this as well as you are observing the final moments of Soft Jimmy. We rapidly see the color drain from this young man's face, and then he lies still, his head lulled back on the cushions as if he is somewhere very far away. And then you see this child who's very small. They have long hair, their pale face covered in blood. You see them reach up one of their fingers to touch that blood, and then they start drawing upon the floor of the opium den in Soft Jimmy's blood. This rather crude drawing, but as you inspect it more closely, you see that what this small vampire appears to be scrawling in blood is an image of a Roman phalanx. That is a clue for the Limehouse Lurker.
Rabbit, upon seeing this, takes in a breath and blows gently towards the figure of the vampire, causing it to dissipate, and the entire dream world that they are in collapses back into the dust and smoke of the largely empty basement.
As you are blowing that vision away, for just a split second, this small vampire straightens, turns over its shoulder, and locks eyes with you, as if it had felt your breath on the back of its neck.
Despite that, Rabbit turns, intending to be comforting, but maybe not necessarily succeeding towards Jenny, and puts a big smile on his face. No more yielding than a dream.
I thought when you produced the knife that you were perhaps a doctor.
I can do that too in a pinch. Don't have the proper schooling to be a doctor, but I've handled injuries.
I see. And tell me, how does your hunt proceed?
Just getting started, lady. Don't worry about it, though. We're pretty good at what we do.
I would ask you to speed your hunt as best you can. The families of the victims, those who had families, I suppose, they have agreed to keep silent, but I'm afraid I can only keep prying eyes out of this for so long.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing, and we'll do our best, but, you know, we are a motley crew, to say the best.
Motley, perhaps the right word for it. You all are certainly colorful.
Now that we're done here, I'm going to go back up and join my friend upstairs, if you don't mind.
Very well, please, yes. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing the results of your investigation. Upstairs, in the opium den, you see the hint of a smile from beneath the Man in the Sun mask's half mask. Mr. John, you say that you have a complicated relationship with your family. I can't say I talk to mine very often. I have not seen my sister in centuries.
It'd mean an awful lot to me. I don't need you to intervene on my behalf, but if there's no secrets between friends here, I know you can see things not everybody else can.
I do possess the gift of prophecy. I don't think Sister Mine would take kindly to me prying into her future, but I could put in a good word.
I'd appreciate it an awful lot, Sonny.
I believe I have something of yours. I thank you for it. It helped me keep time. And he produces from the pocket of his smoking jacket the golden pocket watch that you gave him. I have a question for you, though. The pocket watch has been changed in some strange, surreal way. How so?
For one thing, the engraving from Constance is gone. And for another, instead of hands and a face numbered 1 through 12, there is the gnomon of a sundial.
Lovely. You can go ahead and add the changed pocket watch back to your personal quarters.
You're just doling out the coins today, aren't you, son?
Well, I consider you a friend, John.
As do I you. And I wouldn't be a very good friend if all I did was ask you for favors, but since I got you here...
Yes?
You mentioned that you'd seen other worlds. I now glean what you're talking about. I recently had the misfortune of visiting one, or at least its doorstep, without my ken. What if I wanted to get back on my own terms? You know how I might be able to do that?
I would say ordinarily you would need a guide. Someone who's been there or knows the ways. Someone who could make the road.
Rabbit, you want to come back upstairs on your cue?
At this point, Rabbit saunters over. Hello there. I think I've seen someone like you before.
He nods. Sir,
Do you know the Queen?
we're familiar.
I met her once. Didn't really like her.
That does seem to be a popular holding nowadays.
Well, I finished with my job downstairs, if you're quite done up here, Mr. John.
I think I've bothered Sunshine here long enough. Unless you'd like to stay for a smoke.
No, don't really need it anymore.
A pity.
Until next we see each other again, friend.
Yes, sir.
May you be ever at my back and the road rise to meet me.
May you always have warm, bright days, sir.
I hold out my hand for him to shake it.
He shakes it. His handshake is very warm.
I smile to myself about that. Shall we, Rabbit?
Whenever you're ready.
And I hold the door open for him. What makes you think you two were talking about the same queen?
What makes you think we weren't?
I don't like you, boy. Less and less these days.
Let's go back to Cremorne Gardens. Maisie, let's hear it.
Maisie approaches threateningly the person standing in the water, and they start to feel the water around their ankles solidify in that sense of like a Newtonian fluid where it's still liquid, but as soon as they try to take a step or move in any direction, it holds fast. And she leans in close and whispers, "Your disguise is charming, truly, from a distance, yet upon closer inspection, it is crude and wanting and lacks imagination." And she pulls the mask of the costume off to reveal to everyone standing, watching this display, that it is in fact a person. And she circles this person slowly and places her hands on their shoulders and whispers directly into their ear. "And while I'm sure your intentions were to entertain or beguile the thirsty audience, you would be wise not to tamper with powers that you do not understand." And the person starts to feel the feeling of water filling their lungs. They can't catch their breath. They're gasping for air. "Do not do this again, or I will drown you for real." And the power releases them, and the fear of water drives them back to whence they came.
You removed the mask, and it was this acne-scarred 18-year-old boy who looks like ordinarily has a permanent shit-eating grin on his face that is replaced with horror as he flees up the embankment, over the railing, and away from you. Miss Douglas, standing in the water, you're now hearing whispered voices. "It's her! The Witch of the Harbor, it's her!"
Maisie turns to this audience. "A lovely play that my friend and I have now performed for you all. The Witch of the Harbor and the Creature of Cremorne Gardens. Good day to you all," and sort of just like scurries away.
Albertina Welk springs back up as well and says, "Aha, yes! Thank you so much, Witch of the Harbor, for saving my life. Yes, we'll do another show at 4 past.
Maisie like scoops her by the arm and they kind of just like run off together.
I'll beg you, friend, to tell me what exactly just happened.
If you'd really like to see the true creature, you should come on a walk with me sometime.
So there is a creature. It's not just a person in a costume.
Very much not.
She links arms with you.
My dear, I will walk wherever you lead.
Right this way.
We see the sun set over London. Miss Thanero, you are leaving Jenny Snell, who quietly knocks upon the door of Mistress Beaumont at your behest. As you walk down these fine streets, even though the sun is disappearing behind buildings, you feel the heat of the sun extra warm and throbbing on the back of your neck. And you hear the sound of hooves as a gold carriage pulls up next to you and the door opens.
Ina takes in the carriage, noting the warmth and the familiarity of it. It is comforting in its own way. And Ina's going to poke her head into the carriage to confirm who is inside.
You look inside and you see a young man wearing a gold smoking jacket, silk pants, golden slippers,
and a bright golden mask. Sister, I believe it's time we finally talked. Shadows in the Smoke is a Kitten Marlowe production. This episode was edited and produced by Kim Dalton and featured a theme song by Jake Pierle. You can find out more about us by visiting kittenmarlowe.com, signing up for our newsletter, or following us on socials. For Discord access, an exclusive behind-the-scenes show, and more, visit patreon.com/kittenmarlowe and join Wes Franks and all of our incredible Kitten Marlowe patrons in supporting artist-driven storytelling. Thanks for listening.